You've been riding your Harley for how long, and you still don't know half of what your bike can actually do? Most riders drop serious money on these machines and never crack the owner's manual past the first oil change. Meanwhile, your bike is hiding features that will save you on the road. These are the differences between being stranded and riding home. If you actually found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button to help us grow. And here are 17 secrets only few Harley owners know about. Knowledge that separates pros from weekend riders. Starting off, the built-in Trickle charger port. This thing is tucked near the side cover, practically playing hide and seek with you. Most riders have no idea it even exists, because Harley doesn't exactly put up a billboard about it, and it's model specific. Here's why it matters. You can charge your battery without transforming into a mechanic and tearing off half your bike's panels. Just plug in your tender and call it a day. Keeps your battery healthy during storage, especially if you're hibernating through winter like a responsible human. It's one of those features that makes you feel simultaneously genius for finding it and annoyed you've been doing it the hard way for years. Check your model to see if you've got one hiding there. Number 16. Secret storage compartments. Touring Harleys especially have these small hidden spots under side covers or tucked into fairings. They're like Easter eggs, except instead of candy, you find extra space you paid for but forgot existed. A lot of riders only discover them during panic mode, frantically searching for registration during a traffic stop or needing tools on the side of the road. Perfect for stashing essentials you don't want jingling around in your pockets. Spare key, registration documents, zip ties, maybe a chocolate bar for emergencies. They're not huge, but finding free storage on a motorcycle feels like winning a tiny lottery. If you've got a touring model, go play treasure hunter right now. You'll probably find storage space you never knew existed. 15. The pin code lifeline. This one's limited to specific models like the 2021 Street Glide or Road King. It's a backup pin feature that lets you start your bike without the key fob, but here's the catch. You actually have to set it up and practice the turn signal button dance before your key fob decides to die at the worst possible moment. Most riders discover this feature exists roughly 5 minutes after their dead fob leaves them stranded in a parking lot, questioning their life choices. If your fob battery croaks or you lose it in the couch cushions at home, this pin system is the difference between riding home and explaining to a tow truck driver why you own a $20,000 motorcycle you can't start. Takes a bit of setup and memorizing a button sequence that'll make you feel like you're defusing a bomb, but it beats the alternative. Check your owner's manual now, not later when you're sweating in a Walmart parking lot. At number 14, transport mode. This is one of those features you don't think about until you're loading your bike onto a trailer or storing it for months, and suddenly your battery is deader than last year's New Year's resolutions. Transport mode disables the motion sensors while keeping your security system armed. Sounds simple, right? The problem is activating it isn't exactly intuitive, and most riders have zero clue it exists until they're dealing with battery drain issues. Your bike's security system normally stays alert for any movement, which is great for theft prevention but terrible when your Harley is sitting on a trailer bouncing down the highway for 3 hours. That constant sensor activity kills your battery fast. Flip transport mode on before trailering or long-term storage, and you'll actually have a bike that starts when you need it to. Check your manual for the activation sequence because it varies by model. Next, the engine heat management system automatically shuts down your rear cylinder when you're idling in hot conditions. You've probably experienced the benefit without realizing the bike was doing anything special. Sitting in traffic on a 90-degree day or crawling through a parade route, your leg isn't melting off because that rear cylinder stopped firing. It's protecting the engine from overheating while keeping you from getting cooked alive. The system is completely automatic and invisible, which is why most riders have no idea this is even happening. You just notice that sitting at stoplights isn't as miserable as it probably should be on a big V-twin. Once you know about it, you'll appreciate those long red lights a little more. Well, maybe not appreciate them, but at least you'll understand why your left leg isn't medium rare. Number 12. Tipover mode reset. Your bike goes down in a parking lot, you pick it up feeling embarrassed, and now it won't start. Congratulations, you've activated tipover mode. The bike thinks it's still laying on its side and refuses to fire up as a safety measure. Here's the fix that'll save you from a very awkward phone call to roadside assistance. Turn the ignition off, then back on. Press both turn signal buttons at the same time. That's it. Bike resets, tip-over mode clears, you're back in business. The problem is, this process isn't tattooed on your handlebars, and even experienced riders forget it when they're stressed and annoyed about dropping their bike. New riders especially have no idea this is even a thing until they're standing there wondering if they broke something expensive. Practice this reset sequence once so it's in your brain before you actually need it, because trying to Google solutions while your bike sits dead in a parking lot is nobody's idea of a good time. Number 11. Self-canceling turn signals. Before you roll your eyes, these aren't your grandfather's timer-based signals that cancel after 10 seconds whether you've turned or not. Harley's system uses lean angle sensors and distance tracking to actually know when you've completed a turn. The system watches how far you've traveled and how much you've leaned the bike. Once it detects you've finished the turn, it shuts the signal off automatically. No more riding 3 miles down the highway with your blinker still flashing because you forgot about it. It's subtle enough that most riders don't even realize how sophisticated it is. They just assume it's basic timer tech. The real benefit shows up when you're navigating heavy traffic or unfamiliar roads and can focus on riding instead of remembering to cancel your signals. One less thing to think about when you've already got plenty going on. Accessory mode sits at number 10. Most riders idle their engines to keep their GPS running or charge their phone, which wastes gas and puts unnecessary hours on the motor. There's a better way that doesn't involve listening to your engine rumble for 20 minutes while you're checking directions. You can power your electronics without actually running the engine. Accessory mode keeps your 12-volt outlets and USB ports active while everything else stays off. Great for those gas station stops where you need to adjust navigation or queue up a different playlist without burning fuel. The catch is many riders discover this feature by accident years into ownership, usually after they've already wasted who knows how much gas. It's in your manual, but let's be honest, nobody reads those cover to cover. Now you know, and your engine will thank you for not idling unnecessarily every time you need to charge something. Coming in at 9, the rain sock rule. Your air intake has this cover designed to keep water out during wet weather. Sounds straightforward, except a lot of riders treat it like a permanent accessory and never take it off. Here's the issue. The rain sock is meant for rain only. Leave it on during dry riding and you're choking your engine's air supply, which hurts performance and efficiency. It's like trying to breathe through a coffee filter all day when you don't need to. The sock goes on when weather looks sketchy, comes off when conditions clear up. Simple concept, but it's not something Harley emphasizes during sales pitches or in owner discussions. Plenty of bikes are riding around right now with rain socks permanently installed, running slightly worse than they should because the owner didn't know better. Check yours today if you can't remember the last time you touched it. If it's bone dry outside and the sock is still on, you've found your problem. At number 8, Handlebar Lock Mastery. This mechanical lock is old school, simple, and brutally effective, yet most riders completely ignore it in favor of fancier security measures. Turn your handlebars all the way to one side, turn the key to the lock position, and your front wheel is immobilized. A thief can't roll your bike anywhere without the bars locked hard in one direction, which makes for a very obvious and awkward theft attempt. It doesn't require batteries, subscriptions, or apps. Just your key in 5 seconds. The reason it's underutilized is probably because it feels too basic compared to alarms and GPS trackers. But basic doesn't mean ineffective. Layer this with your other security, and you've made your bike significantly harder to steal. Thieves want easy targets, not wrestling matches with locked handlebars in a parking lot. Number 7. Audible Alarm Advantage. Sure, most riders know their Harley has an alarm, but the specific triggers and how loud these things actually are often get overlooked. Your alarm doesn't just beep politely when someone brushes against your bike. Shake it, tilt it, or try moving it. And that siren screams loud enough to make everyone within 2 blocks look over. That noise is the whole point. Thieves hate attention, and nothing draws attention faster than a blaring motorcycle alarm in a quiet parking lot. Visual security like locks makes people look twice. Audible security makes them stop what they're doing and investigate. If you're relying only on locks or visual deterrence, you're missing half the security equation. Test your alarm sensitivity settings to make sure it's actually armed and responsive, because an alarm that doesn't go off when it should is just decorative. Cruise control mastery lands at number 6. Setting cruise and forgetting about it works fine until you realize there's actual technique involved for using it properly. You can adjust speed in 1 mile/hour increments without fully disabling cruise. Tap the button up or down to fine-tune your speed for slight grade changes or keeping pace with traffic. Sounds minor until you're on a long highway stretch, and those small adjustments save you from constantly resetting everything. Here's what doesn't work: cruise control in rain or twisty roads. Wet pavement reduces traction, and curves require active throttle control. Using cruise in those conditions is asking for trouble. The riders who master cruise control know when to use it and when to leave it off. Highway miles with clear weather and straight roads? Absolutely. Reduces wrist fatigue and improves fuel efficiency. Mountain passes in a thunderstorm? Keep your right hand active and engaged. Key fob awareness sits at number 5. Modern Harleys depend on that little electronic fob, and when it fails, you're stuck unless you planned ahead. The fob runs on a battery that will die eventually. Carry a spare battery because replacing one takes 30 seconds and costs a few bucks. Way better than discovering a dead fob when you're ready to leave somewhere important. Here's the backup most riders don't know about: the pin system using turn signal buttons. It's model specific and requires setup before you need it, which is exactly why most people never bother until it's too late. Your key fob should have a spare living somewhere accessible, not buried in a drawer at home. And that backup pin code? Memorize it. Write it down somewhere secure. Do whatever works for you. Just don't assume your fob will work forever. Electronics fail at the worst times, and being prepared takes 5 minutes of effort now versus hours of frustration later. Number 4. Kickstand and clutch safety features. These prevent you from doing dumb things that damage your bike or your pride, but new riders sometimes don't understand why their bike won't cooperate. The clutch needs to be pulled before starting to prevent the bike from lurching forward if it's in gear. The kickstand kill switch automatically stalls the engine if you try riding away with the stand down, saving you from an expensive tip-over. Both features exist because enough people made these mistakes that Harley built in safeguards. If your bike won't start, check the kickstand first. If it cranks but immediately dies when you put it in gear and release the clutch, your stand is still down. These aren't complicated systems, but they confuse riders who don't know they exist. Once you understand what's happening, they become second nature. Pull clutch, kickstand up, ride away. Simple sequence that prevents complicated problems. At number 3, battery tender habit. Consistent use of a battery tender separates riders who always have reliable starts from riders who constantly deal with dead batteries. Motorcycle batteries drain faster than car batteries, especially on older models without built-in charging ports. Let your bike sit for a few weeks without a tender and you're gambling on whether it'll start. Sulfation builds up on the battery plates during storage, permanently reducing capacity over time. A tender prevents this by maintaining optimal charge levels without overcharging. It's not exciting maintenance, but it works. The discipline part is actually plugging it in every time you park for extended periods, not just when you remember. Riders who skip this step end up replacing batteries every couple years. Riders who use tenders consistently get 5 or more years from the same battery. The math is pretty straightforward. Spend $30 on a tender or keep spending $100+ on new batteries. Your choice. Parking position mastery comes in at number 2. Where and how you park matters more than most riders consider, especially on slopes or hot asphalt. Face uphill when parking on inclines, so gravity helps keep the bike stable. Park downhill and you're fighting weight to hold the bike upright, which gets sketchy fast. Leave it in gear when facing downhill for extra insurance against rolling. Hot asphalt is another issue. Your kickstand can sink into soft pavement on really hot days, especially if you're on a heavy touring bike. Carry a small puck or metal disc to spread the weight and prevent the stand from punching through. Sounds paranoid until you come back to find your bike leaning at a weird angle or worse, on its side. These aren't everyday concerns, but when conditions line up wrong, proper parking technique is the difference between riding home and picking up your bike in front of an audience. Taking the top spot at number 1, warm-up wisdom. How you start your ride affects engine longevity, but modern riders often skip proper warm-up routines entirely. 30 to 60 seconds of idling after starting gives oil time to circulate through the engine. That's it. Not 5 minutes. Not until the engine reaches full operating temperature. Just enough time for lubrication to reach critical components. Then ride gently for the first few miles while everything comes up to temperature. Avoid hard acceleration or high RPMs during this period. What you shouldn't do is let it idle for 10 minutes thinking you're helping. Extended idling creates carbon buildup, wastes fuel, and doesn't actually warm the engine as effectively as gentle riding does. This is old-school knowledge that newer riders sometimes miss because modern engines are more tolerant of abuse. Tolerant doesn't mean immune. Brief idle, easy riding, then open it up once the engine is warm. That routine adds years to your motor's life without adding any real time to your departure. Start it. Let it breathe for a minute, then ride it like you've got sense until it's ready for more.
You've just unlocked 17 secrets that make your Harley a living legend. But hold on, because we're not done yet. Here's your exclusive bonus, a sneak peek into Harley Davidson's 2026 lineup that'll redefine the road, each one a nod to the thunder we live for. Ready to roll into the future? Let's dive in. Number 1. The Sprint. Harley's $6,000 gamble. Harley just confirmed they're bringing back the Sprint name for 2026. And this is wild because we're talking about a brand new Harley for under $6,000. When's the last time you heard that? This small displacement lightweight bike targets younger riders and beginners, pulling inspiration from the original 1960s Sprint that Harley built with Italian manufacturer Ermacchi. They've been developing this thing since 2021, and unlike past budget attempts like the Street 500 and 750 that kind of flopped, this one's supposedly built for actual profitability. Expect modern stuff like EFI, ABS, disc brakes, and a digital dash. Engine size is probably somewhere between 250 and 500c, but Harley's keeping exact specs under wraps until the dealer preview in October 2025. US availability starts in 2026, and the whole strategy is getting new riders hooked so they eventually trade up to bigger iron. Next up, the mystery entry-level cruiser. Alongside the Sprint, there's a second budget cruiser coming, possibly called the Eagle, though that's not confirmed. This one leans hard into classic Harley styling, but in a package that won't demolish your wallet. It's designed for urban riders and global markets, sharing the Sprint's platform to keep costs down while delivering that authentic cruiser vibe. The focus here is small displacement power, without the intimidation factor of Harley's heavier bikes. They might be manufacturing this through Asian partnerships, similar to what they did with the Pan America. Details are sparse, but think cruiser ergonomics with modern reliability. Basically a gateway drug to the rest of Harley's lineup. Third, X350 and X500. These bikes are already crushing it in Asia, specifically India, where they're priced around $3,000 to $7,200. Built through Harley's partnership with Hero Motocorp, the X350 runs around 350cc, while the X500 packs about 500cc of liquid-cooled power. The X500 apparently looks similar to a Benelli Leoncino 500. Currently, they're Asia exclusive, but here's the thing. US owner's manuals have been spotted, and rumors suggest a 2026 North American launch. These could be perfect for urban commuting and Harley's Riding Academy training programs. They're rugged, low maintenance, and way more affordable than traditional Harleys. Official US confirmation is still pending, but the smoke's getting thick. Next, the electric Fat Boy. Now this is interesting. Harley's taking the iconic Fat Boy, that muscular, low-slung cruiser we all know, and electrifying it for 2026. Built on the Revelation-derived powertrain, it hits 0 to 60 in under 3.5 seconds with zero emissions. They're keeping that classic Fat Boy styling while pushing EV tech forward. This is Livewire's premium offering, combining heritage aesthetics with modern battery efficiency. Exact range and pricing are still coming, but this is Harley's statement piece for the electric market, proving you can have sustainable cruising without sacrificing that commanding presence. At number 6, Bagger World Cup. This might be the wildest thing Harley's doing in 2026. They're launching the Harley Davidson Bagger World Cup, co-developed with MotoGP and Dorna Sports. We're talking race-tuned V-twin touring bikes based on the Grand American Touring platform, radically modified for actual circuit racing. 6-round series spanning North America and Europe. hitting tracks like Circuit of the Americas, Mugello, Silverstone, and Red Bull Ring. These races run alongside MotoGP weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. This evolved from King of the Baggers, but now it's going global. American V-Twin Thunder on international tracks, bringing a completely different vibe than standard MotoGP racing. Teams, riders, and sponsors are already lining up for this. Lastly, the iconic Classic Revival. Harley's teasing one more 2026 model, an iconic Classic Revival with small displacement tech. Think heritage styling that echoes models like the Iron or original cruisers, but with modern reliability and profitability baked in for US and international markets. This fits Harley's push into affordable segments while honoring their legacy. Exact name and design are still speculative. Some people think it might be that Eagle name we mentioned earlier, but expect traditional aesthetics with efficient powertrains and updated features. This is Harley competing in the growing small bike market without abandoning what makes them Harley. So, all those secrets you just learned, they're not going anywhere when these 2026 bikes drop. Which one of these 2026 models has you reaching for your wallet? Let me know in the comments because I'm genuinely curious what's hitting with you guys. And if you're not subscribed yet, fix that now. We've got more coming, and I'm sure you don't want to miss it. Keep the shiny side up, and I'll catch you in the next one.